more than 40%. Credit card information, current location, online backup. Yeah, each person is locatable anywhere. All those apps are available, and you really don't have any privacy on where you have been, what you have visited, and in fact, you are voluntarily providing a lot of this information yourself. So, how do you protect that? That's another major concern. Cyber crime. Now, these sort of news items are becoming passe. Every day there is some cyber crime being reported somewhere or the other. Few years back, I remember having seen a cartoon where the Don was advising his young son, son, the business of crime is too dangerous. Don't get into that. Learn computers, learn cyber crime, phenomenal return on investment, no risk, no bullet, no blood, no knives, no dangers, minimum possibility of arrest. Don't go into this knife and revolver and that sort of crime, go to cyber crime. And which probably the Don's son has taken it very seriously, and we see results of that practically everywhere. Cyber terrorism, we have seen this very recently. Just a rumor, using social media, spread panic. Yeah. So probably this is not even we need to explain, this is what we are facing nowadays day to day. Malicious hacking is a professional business. It's no more an amateur reputation building prank, right? So you had to treat that as a challenge because they are no more, they are very organized, very well trained, very well accomplished, and they probably are having better tools than what we have got. Optimizing online customer interaction is a business imperative. If you do not have, customers are going to run away from you, and the next client or next portal is just a click away. Social media, we all seen these figures, more than 600 million active users on Facebook, more than 100 million registered users on LinkedIn, Twitter, so on and so forth. So, look at this. How was the school today, baby? Oh, you can read all about that on my blogs, right? So, control is important, especially when you do not have it. Yeah, things go out of control, and then you realize that you should have thought about all the controls that were necessary. So, what are the challenges? Technology is evolving at a rate we cannot comprehend. But it is to serve the business. Governance, risk management becomes a value creator, and security is critical for us. So, with this brief introduction, I'll invite our honored guest, our panelist, Mr. B.J. Srinath, Senior Director. Please come on, sir. Mr. Anupam Kulshrestha and Mr. Shantanu Ghosh. Mr. B.J. Srinath is a Senior Director in the Computer Emergency Response Team 13, Department of IT, Ministry of Communications and IT, Government of India. He is a specialist in the field of IT security management. He is currently engaged in conceptualization and development of a national cyber security strategy and implementation of a national cyber security assurance framework. These programs are aimed at enabling protection of national critical information infrastructure and ensuring the safety and security of cyberspace in country. Recently, he was nominated to represent India in the United Nations Group of Governmental Experts Committee and Council for Security Cooperation in Asia Pacific for studying the developments in the field of information and communication technology in the context of international security and making suitable recommendations. Welcome you, sir. I'll just introduce two more speakers and then I'll call you. Yeah. So that I don't have to again interrupt the proceedings, Mr. Shantanu Ghosh, who is the far left of me, Vice President, Threat and Risk Management Group, Symantec Corporation. He is also the Managing Director for Symantec's India Product Operations and leads the company Innovation Center in Pune, Chennai and Bangalore. And a totally different aspect of his personality, he is passionate about travel and food, and he writes an extremely popular blog. So you are interested in information security, you visit his blog. You are interested in travel, you visit his blog. Another blog or you are interested in food, again he writes on that. And Mr. Anupam Kulshresht, who is in the middle, he is CISA CSUM series, fellow of the Advanced Study Program at the MIT Center for Advanced Engineering Study at MIT, Cambridge, Massachusetts, USA. He is director of National Institute of Financial Management, has been the Supreme Audit Institution of India since 1975, having retired as Deputy Controller and Auditor General of India in April 2012. So once again, let us give a big hand to all the panelists. So now I invite Mr. Bijay Srinath to put forward his views.
Thank you very much. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks very much for having me here. It's my pleasure to talk to you. I moved from industry to government 22 years back. So I can tell you with authority how much tormented are we in government. See, these days, of course, you are very well aware, you have been following lots of things on public media. We have been hounded, lots of actions are demanded, so many things are demanded, all of them they were demanded yesterday. So I have no time even to think. In a company, of course, what I speak to you, it may not solve your problem, but it can definitely help you to forget your problem. Because you are saying, I am not getting good sleep in the afternoon, but I am saying I have lost my sleep in the night. That's even much bigger problem. So I need to be more worried, and you need to be more sympathetic towards me. That's much better demand. There was one farmer who was using bulls to plow his field. His neighbor was curious. He asked him, why don't you use ox? He said, no, I want to use bulls. He said, why don't you use horses? No, I want to use. He insisted, I want to use bulls. Why don't you use tractors? There are so many good machines have come over. Then I want to still use bulls. Say, yeah, tell me, why you insist on using bulls? He says, I don't want these bulls to think that life is all full of fun and romance. Isn't it? You need to work. So, when I came from industry to government, many people told me, Srinath, it's all pension while in service. I didn't know what to say, but now I can tell you how tormented are we. When I entered from industry to government, and when you entered into IT and started using mobiles, both of us can be pardoned to think that life is all full of fun and romance. Isn't it? Now you know how much are you tormented, isn't it? It's not so easy. Love has become absolutely complex. Isn't it? So much of complexity is there. We have completely have a not World Wide web around your neck. Isn't it? When you were given a mobile phone by the office to be prepaid every month or whatever it is, you were so happy. You were telling everybody in your locality. But when you get a call at midnight from your boss, now you know whether it was a gift from your office or it was something else. Now it's a curse. But now you cannot give up. You have grown to such an extent, now you cannot even be mobiles. Isn't it? So, when I am speaking to you, one or two quick words about the framework approach and structured approach and things like that. Let me make my views very clear. I am very much for structured approach and framework approach for doing things, because when things get very complex, naturally we need to have a method. Because if I don't have a structured method, disciplined approach, possibly I don't know whether I am moving forward or backward. Isn't it? At any point of time, at least I should know what I am doing, whether it is contributing or contradicting. So to that extent, it is good. But these frameworks and approaches, the more abstract and generic they become, again, before I tell you something, you should be clear about what I said, about my views about frameworks. I'm absolutely for it, because at the end of my talk, you should not go confused that Srinath Astika and Nastika. That confusion should not exist, isn't it? Because this framework, the more abstract it becomes and more generic it becomes, it moves higher and higher. The more it generic becomes, it automatically lends itself for lots of interpretations and debate. It's no problem with the framework per se, but by generic character of that, it's like that, like a God concept, isn't it? How the world believes he exists, how the world believes it doesn't exist. Centuries people have been banging their head. Big Bang Theory also, isn't it? The God particle also has been found. We don't know. Still the debate exists. It is there. It lends itself to a lot of debate. It doesn't mean that framework itself is bad or anything like that, because after all, roads, actually they don't travel, isn't it? You have to use it. Where does this road go? It doesn't go anywhere. It stays there. You have to go. So you can make use of this one. So it started yesterday, in fact, we had in the evening, we had a interesting debate, this framework or that framework. No, it's not this framework or this framework. Any framework for that matter. In fact, it does not matter what you do. It simply matters how you do it. That much of conviction and commitment is needed. After that, you yourself can improve the framework. You can contribute to improve the framework. That's the point of conviction and commitment that you need. With that, you are enriching the process and also enriching the thing that goes on. Lots of people are, in fact, the appreciation of the people who have been toiling to put these type of frameworks is really good. Generally, when we are talking of frameworks and approaches, there is a good bit of logic that comes into, because fundamentally when things become complex and so many people are working together, you need logic. Without logic, organizations cannot function, isn't it? Decisions cannot be taken, and logically things cannot move in a direction that you intend to take. It's very difficult otherwise to give up that logic. But unfortunately, logic is quite different. There was a school teacher, and she says to one girl, small girl, suppose your father has borrowed 3,000 rupees and promises to pay 150 rupees every month. How much does it still owe after 10 months? The girl says 3,000 rupees. The madam says, I am afraid, honey, you don't know anything about mathematics. That girl says, no madam, I know everything about mathematics, but I am afraid you don't know anything about my father, because he does not pay money at all. So the money still is 3,000 only. Life works like that. So what you should know, that is the crux. It is not that what framework says, what you know, that is very important. And I often understand, I am dismayed and to a point of frustration that when people say lack of awareness, but I am vomiting with awareness. I find people so much aware. The fundamental problem that I find is it is not translating into action. There is so much of action, isn't it? Too much of analysis leads to paralysis. There is no action at all. So the need is for the action. Whatever little you know, just put it. Everybody is aware of Bhagavad Gita. Has your life improved? I don't think so. Isn't it? Who is not aware? Tell me. But it has not improved our life, because fundamentally what we think and what we have understood is totally different, and what we go about is absolutely different, 180 degrees out of phase. It doesn't work that way. So whatever little we know, we should have the courage to practice and implement it. If we have that, possibly there is something that we can understand and contribute back. Everybody, we are all simply downloading only. I don't know how much of we are uploading into the framework, isn't it? Please use it fully. Use fully your flesh and blood and think, and then flow it back. Upload. Then possibly you will find out you will have something better in your hands. Generally, when you guys think in a company level, you should be worried about information security. When we guys worry about the country level, we should be worrying about cyber security. There is an intermix of these two things, and very synonymously these two things are used. But I think it's better to understand where exactly. It's not that you lose sight of fundamentally your focus when you are working at the company level. Like even for US government, for example, when it was talking of the country, it was talking of Cyber Security Act 2012, a bill which did not get through. That's a different issue. But when they were talking as a user, Federal Information System Management, it is information security as a user. As government, as a countrywide implications, it has got Cyber Security Act, cyber security. In the cyberspace, cyber security becomes a superset, information becomes the subset. In normal sense, information is the superset and cyber is the subset of that one. It's totally different connotations, so it is better that we don't mix up, and ISO 27032 clears this, and there is no confusion about this any longer. So it's better that we do. When we are dealing with frameworks like this, even Indian IT Act under section 43A rules 8.3, it says very clearly that a framework that is put up by an association or an entity formed by such association is possible that it can be approved by the government for use for the members for demonstration of compliance of security best practices. I don't know to what extent ISACA and such organizations can make use of that, but that's a provision that is existing. And that is also in relation to the point that was made yesterday. So I thought I should not preempt everything yesterday itself. So I reserved my comments and kept mum and went on with what normally people do. And as far as dealing with the security issues concerned, we had come up with our own cybersecurity policy. And just yesterday, we had the opportunity to brief our minister about the revised and final draft of the cybersecurity policy. And it will go to the cabinet, and very soon, it will soon see the light of the day. And it will help in governing the cybersecurity issues in all its broad parameters. And we have purged all unwanted English from the policy, and simply actions are there. So you people can go through it and tell us whether we need to add more actions or some of the actions are absolutely senseless. I don't think so, but still, you can go through it and tell us, because our wisdom and this experience could be as limited as it could be, and you can all enrich that one. Everybody will have something to contribute to make sure that we have a policy that we can work with, we can live with very happily. Most of the conferences and meetings सत्संग जैसे हो जाते हैं. I beg pardon of my friends who are not able to follow Hindi. ये सत्संग क्या होता है? बोलने वाले को मज़ा आ रहा है, सुनने वाले को मज़ा आ रहा है, लेकिन कोई रूपांतरण नहीं होता. Isn't it? So, but I see there is so much of a dedicated group here. I don't expect such a thing to happen, but people would love to be transformed, and things should be definitely much better. See, there is one more issue that I would like to tell you. We are not only biggest outsourcing partner in this world today, but the concept of outsourcing we have mastered so much in our life. I don't know whether you are aware of it or not. India is one of the biggest masters in the concept of outsourcing. We have outsourced everything to God. We have left nothing to ourselves. It's better that we leave something to ourselves and do something where we are supposed to be acting, isn't it? See, when in a relatively low risk environment, it's better, or it's good that if you are only aware, like when you are a pedestrian walking in Connaught Place, so you can be warned or you can be aware that it is better to walk in the middle of the road, so that these days buses and trucks, they go on the footpath. So you better take care of yourself, walk in the middle of the road. That's better. Awareness is good enough. But little complex environment, sirf awareness se kaam nahi chalega, isn't it? Only awareness doesn't work. You need to act. You act. So you should find out whether you are in a situation where you need to act. Even more complex situation, awareness action is not sufficient. Assurance is important. Continuously you should assure yourself. Like in a low risk environment, awareness, when you are aware that neighbor के घर में पानी नहीं आ रहा है, that's good enough. You are aware, no problems at all, isn't it? The neighbor is not getting water, no problems. But in a little different situation, when you realize हमारे घर में भी पानी नहीं आ रहा आज, isn't it? Now you realize there is no water today. What do? Simply awareness is not enough. Now you have to run with a bucket to find out where the water is, isn't it? And in a little more difficult situation where you find out that kal se pani nahi aayega. So what do? Your action also is not sufficient. You have to make sure that every day it works, isn't it? It works every day. Whatever you do, it works every day. So these are the simple tips. Because it is so generic, so I have to be that generic, matching with the framework. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for your patience, and maybe we can have some more time to change. Thank you very much.
I will request Shantanu to take this.
Good morning, everybody, and it's great being here. I mean, it's always wonderful to see a room full of people even 10 minutes before the start time of a conference. So thank you all for being here. I'm really glad to be both in the city and also in this particular conference. So what I'm going to do is, we started off with the security trends, and Avinash actually comprehensively covered some of the complexity ahead of us. So what I'm going to do is, because as you heard, I do two things. I function as the managing director for Symantec's product operations in India, and in that role, I get an opportunity to obviously meet with a lot of stakeholders, both in terms of customers, government, and other stakeholders within the country. But in my other role, I also manage a global portfolio of security products for my company, which we call the threat and risk management portfolio. But in addition to a lot of other things, I also run the risk and compliance product portfolio as a part of that job. Now, that gives me a good insight into customers globally. And so what I'll do is, when I make my comments against some of these trends, I'll try to add some color based on my own experience from a customer perspective as to what are people really doing to deal with some of these trends. So, I mean, you saw a slide that Avinash presented where we say that technology is really progressing at a rapid pace, right? And at the same time, when we as IT professionals in the company, we look at technology. I mean, we try to be like that farmer, with the bull, in your example, which is basically, there's a little bit of a pushback because this complexity seems to be making our life more tough than easier. But the reality is that we all play this split personality, and probably we demand the additional extra competitiveness that we get for our company through the use of technology ahead of time, and then react to the complexity that it brings in. I mean, 2 days back, Apple announced the new iPhone, right? I mean, iPhone 5, and as consumers, we were all looking at it, and by and large, I think people were probably a little disappointed, saying that, hey, all this, even though there's a lot of innovation, that disappointed at the level that, hey, this looks pretty similar to what we have. So at one level, we crave a lot more change that we are getting in spite of the speed at which technological innovations are happening today. But then we are also in another role trying to deal with that, right? So mobility, I mean, it's certainly one of the most disruptive things that have happened to the enterprise, right, lately. So companies, I mean, when we talk to companies, everybody talks about virtualization, about cloud and mobility. But when we ask them, and we did a survey of all the CIOs and CISOs and asked them to rate which one is changing their lives more, it was clearly mobility on the top. And when I was meeting the CISO of a very large global bank, and he was located in Singapore, and I was speaking with him, he was telling me, and they're a bank, as you can imagine, I mean, they are a lot more mature from security point of view. They also take security very seriously and are relatively conservative, right, in terms of what technologies they come in, because they're evaluating, the implications of technology. But they already had iPhones and iPads out on their trading floor, which was being used. And after they were already deployed, there was so much pressure to actually get that additional benefit that, for their company through the use of such mobile devices, that they were thinking of security much later. So it was already out there when they were talking about, hey, now what? Now what happens if this device suddenly gets lost or misplaced with sensitive data on it? So that's the kind of world we live in, because, and Asia Pacific is certainly in the thick of it. So in that survey data that I saw there, which says that a very large percentage of our workforce is going to be mobile, I remember seeing an IDC report which said that actually the Asia Pacific region is going to be leading in terms of the percentage of mobile workforce. So it's going to be real. It's not going to only happen in the Western region. It's happening here as well. and mobility, disappearing perimeters, and also there's another aspect of in the mobile world which is significantly different. So as you know, IT mostly went through a state of standardization, because on the desktop world, there was sort of like one platform that they could standardize around because of the sort of, there was one vendor or one platform which was pretty much in a monopoly situation. Now in the mobile world, we don't believe that's going to happen at all. Even as things stabilize, we believe in the best possible cases that we can project forward, there will be 3 or 4 vendors. So those, so we will essentially have to be in a much more heterogeneous world.